Hi, I'm Dr. Gilgamesh, and I'd like to introduce you to my podcast, Emotional Anatomy. It's an intelligently designed anatomy that has as its goal the recruiting your interest and curiosity as to how it works so that you can become more familiar with it and, as a result, better at it and enjoy it more. Welcome. Hello again. You know, I'm experimenting with the different ways of presenting these ideas. I'm trying to go for short segments that would allow you the chance to digest individually at your own pace. You see, there is some sense in our culture that if I analyze it correctly, if I only think about it properly, if I get it right, I've even used the word generation wisdom. Even if I get it, you see, it'll get better. I'll change. I'll be different. And I have to remind ourselves, no, it's everybody helping each other become people of freedom. We are the people of freedom. You are the people of freedom by your free choice to be listening in. And that's very cool. I'm glad to have you aboard. That's by your own free choice. You see, freedom cannot be forced. And therefore, neither can you force yourself to be free. It becomes a willingness to freely choose to learn navigation of your emotional anatomy, to understand how it works in principles. And therefore, the people of freedom from all over the world and all time are talking to each other to assist one another in achieving the experience. We're building a foundation of language which describes how our mind is working. It describes openly in a manner that we hope will offer you a sense of confidence, because we're investing in your confidence. The concept is an architecture of emotional anatomy. This is your brain. This is how it was made, and it's been made magnificently on purpose to impress you so that you would freely choose to join into this discussion and then understand what the doctor is saying, because it's the doctor's responsibility to know how the mind works, you see. And therefore, I am hoping that the doctors will catch on to this first, but it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe the doctors are already default emotional reflex, too arrogant, too stubborn, too caught up in their own ideas to be able to be interested in discovering freedom to choose. That it's not in accordance with the way they thought it would be. There's the person that would remind me that, oh boy, if only I could understand this, then I would be different. No, you won't. Nothing's going to change. Check it out again. Nothing is going to change. We don't need for it to change, because it's made this way on purpose to impress you so that you don't have to change. You get to freely choose gratitude and be guided hard home, only to discover then that the volunteer in you comes alive. I get it. And the volunteer tries to help other people get it. You become good for goodness sake. All right, it is war. Now, granted, all of a sudden I've triggered your default emotional reflexes. You can't force me to be any good. I get that. I understand. I'm not here to try and force you. If it's not a free choice, it's not going to work. That's the point. It's freedom versus slavery. It's a war, and each of us is responsible in this war. But I can't force you. But freedom is more powerful than weapons. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office. I'm just trying to start us talking. That's all. I'm a doctor. I'm doing my job. Just trying to get us talking to one another about the mechanism of the mind and how it is privileged to freely choose. Cool. Now, freely choose what? That's your free choice. Well, but my claim is that you're better able to freely choose from that peaceful place I'm calling your heart's home. I'm claiming it's part of the emotional anatomy. I'm claiming that DNA laid the structures, the Rubik's Cube of emotional anatomy. I claim that it's been laid down that way on purpose to impress you, such that when you get it, whoa, yes, you recognize what I'm talking about. And the experience is so rewarding that you would freely choose to want to do it again. Huh. I think that's its intention. So here we go now, talking about, we're telling a story. I think we're capitalizing upon the Greeks. We're capitalizing upon Thomas Jefferson. We're capitalizing upon the arguments that exist in the political arenas, but we are then acknowledging that the politics is not what gives you freedom. It's your DNA that gives you freedom. This, you see, what's really remarkable, to tell you the truth, I'm an American, I'm a United States citizen, and I enjoy the freedoms that we are offered here. And at the same time, however, the freedoms that were offered here become very scary because people get lost in their audacious privilege or their entitlements to do whatever they please instead of seeing the free choice for the greater good. You see, the Xi Jinping or the Chinese, the Russian, the oligarchs are going to have the easier time of implementing this program into their educational system than we will have in the United States of America, because we're stuck with trying to persuade people to listen in. All they have to do is one person, the lord of their schools, catches on and forces everybody else to study, because what you discover is that gratitude guides you hard home. And once you discover your hard home, oh man, that is a place of peace. Now, you're going to have to listen to other podcasts to understand the anatomy that gets you back home. But it's real. I'm a scientist. If you can't see what I see, then, by the way, write to me. Send me emails. Do something. Talk to me here about it. Join into the discussion. I only have so much time, but I will be interacting with that Facebook group, and I will be doing as best that I can to respond to the questions that I receive. But you respond to the questions you receive as you catch on as well. This is a worldwide collaboration. This isn't just me. All right, so I'll demonstrate that to you. You're free to think, you're free to choose, you're free to live however you decide. It's the battle for freedom begins within your imagination, and I'm simply recruiting your imagination to participate with me. We are fighting to save the world. We're fighting to save the nations. We're fighting to save our children. And freedom cannot be forced. I can't force my children to understand freedom. In fact, they could get stuck thinking they're free as they get hooked on materialism and think that that's what makes life wonderful. I'm claiming that personal significance to the future of the world is the most rewarding experience on the planet. And you want to help your kids understand they are personally significant to the future of the world. And of course, I've heard plenty of folks get triggered immediately when I would say such a thing, and they say, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. You should meet my kid," etc., etc. But that's being triggered into a default emotional reflex that's not interested in this subject matter. What we're trying to do, however, is to see the tug of war between the stuck position, believing that nobody changes. Because nothing changes, but that doesn't mean I don't change. You see, because by my free choice, I can change, even though nothing changes, because my free choice hasn't changed a thing. I am free to choose. I was born that way. Now, granted, plenty of people have tried to tear that down throughout time and prevent it, but I was born that way. And I'm privileged now to share with you the story of freedom. And I'm simply asking that you would join in. Until next time, thanks for listening. I hope you can tell how passionate I am about teaching you how your mind works and using the concept of emotional anatomy to assist you in seeing the intelligently designed organism, etc., etc. Now, you know, if you are excited by it, you can make a contribution through patreon.com/emotional anatomy. I'd appreciate that. It would support our enterprise. I'm hoping that, of course, we can reach the world, that this is a new conceptualization. Egoid and superego are dead in the water. They're not helpful to us to understand that what we're looking for is a visionary system that can actually make wise choice for the future of the world. And each of us are responsible. Please help us out. You can also join in to our website, to our Facebook group that will be having additional podcasts that are more complicated and presenting the more intimate details of emotional anatomy. I'm hoping that you're kind of catching on and getting interested and fascinated and excited, curious even about what I mean by emotional anatomy, by heart home, by gratitude guides, your heart home wisdom. I hope all of this is working well for you. Check it out, patreon.com/emotional anatomy. Join us, contribute if you will. I appreciate it.